Good morning, dear students. I, Vidyasagar, your SS teacher, welcome you all in the e-learning class of Modern International Histoire. I am going to start subject history of Standard 7, and this is chapter 5, rulers and buildings. Dear students, basically we have discussed about the Mughal Empire, and before we have discussed about the Delhi Sultan, okay, where it was started in 1206 AD. Dear students, there we have found out that the different type of buildings, different type of monuments were created at that time. The kings and the sultans, they basically used to build the buildings, okay, so that they will die, but those building, it will remain same. And that's why in the earlier time, whenever moved toward the earlier time, we also find out that these type of things used to be happen, that the kings or the sultans or the emperors, they just they want to show their prosperity in the form of making out the temples, making out the lawns, making out the public areas, and by this method they used to demonstrate themselves. So here it is also about the architecture as well as the rulers. Okay, now if you find that the topic started with the Qutub Minar, which was initiated by Kutubuddin Aibak, and further it was completed by Iltutmish. Dear students, in this we will come to know that how the architects under this Qutub Minar, it was given, and the balcony by the small arcs. It means arc, it means the half circle. Okay, arcs, it means the half circle, जिसे हम चाप कहते हैं. So there in that form, in that format, this Qutub Minar is being decorated. And see that without, at that time, without the help of the technology at that time, these all things were carefully maintained, and these all things was just look too much decorated, that nowadays people will think about it and they just want to copy about it. Okay, like the on the surface you will find out the minar that is curved and the angular. Okay, that it was curved as well as it was angular. Now placing and the inscription on such surface required great precision. It means a great skill, a great passion is to be required there to build such type of buildings. Now you will find that these buildings were being built around 800 years ago. Wherever it all was built with the help of stone as well as bricks. Now between 8 and the 18th centuries, see, it means the 8 centuries to 1800 centuries. Now you will find the kings and officers, basically they used to build two types of buildings and monuments. Like the first were in the form of place, forts, garden, residence and tombs, which were protected and grandiose place of rest in world. Okay, it means the first it was for themselves, and these were the private areas, whereas second the structure for mean for the public activities, including the temple, mosque, tank and the bazaars. These all were for the public activity, wherever the first kind of the structure it was for themselves kings. So the kings, they were also expected to see their subjects, it means see their peoples, and by making a structure for use and comfort, ruler hoped to win their praise. It means whenever they build the superstructure, like one of the superstructure we are watching here, Qutub Minar. So here what about, whenever we will see, then we will must question that who has built it. So after a long time, if this type of question we are doing while watching the Qutub Minar, that at that time this type of mentality was also there, that to demonstrate themselves, to demonstrate their power and prosperity, they were just making out these buildings, as well as they built the temple, mosque, and wells. However, the domestic architectures like the mansions, haveli, that have been survived in 18th century. Engineering skills and construction. Dear students, see, at the earlier times, you will just imagine that what kind of engineering skill was there, that they have constructed this type of buildings. Like the monuments, they provide the inside technologies used for the construction. It means basically the general, with the help of the general tools, they used to build out the construction. In the later page, you will come to know that how the big super dome structure were built, and the roof, for example, like these the beams, it was created by placing out the woods, and the super structure was made over there. Like between the 7th and 10th centuries, architect they starting adding more rooms. It means it was started then somewhere, if we'll know, then we'll find out that it's some from some of the areas these all have been started, and these were started from making out the windows, making out the rooms, and they making out the storage. It means the one by one, step by step, these all things were decorating, as well as the roof, doors, these all were being made by the placing the horizontal beams on two vertical columns, a style of architecture called Trebet or the corbelled style. It means both side the wooden beam was placed and the superstructure, it means the arc like structure, was built it. Okay, and that's how these development, these type of building monument structure was developed there. Now the it all buildings, this was connected with the baulis. Baulis, it means a well, a type of well, where the step was given there. In recent, we will find out the wells that we used to just dip the rope with the bucket inside the well, and we get out the pull out the ropes and find out the water. But at that time, the big well was built it, where the steps, where the ladder was set there to go inside and keep out the water. These were known as the bauli. In Rajasthan, there is the best example, that is Rani Ki Bauli. Okay, now see the superstructures. Two superstructure example is given here, and how it was built. One of the, it is given here, Kandariya Mahadev temple dedicated to Shiva, that was constructed in 999 by the King Dhang Dev, which is located in Madhya Pradesh, of the Chandel dynasty. It was the ornamented gateway that was laid to the entrance, and the main hall was Mahamandapa. It means the entrance hall, it was considered as Mahamandapa, whereas the dance was performed there, as well as the image of the chief deity was kept in Garbhagriha. It means the center place of the temple, there it was kept. Wherever this place was for rituals, it means for worship, whereas the king and family were only used to gather. Wherever the public, they were not allowed to enter inside. Wherever the complex and the complex of the Khajuraho temple, these were not allowed for the public entry, as well as the temple was decorated with the carved superstructures. See, at that time, the peoples, they were also making out the buildings, temples. The king, they themselves promote it, that whenever they will promote it, these all will find out the superiority among them. One of the best example is also here, the Rajrajeshwar temple as Thanjavur. Okay, and it has the tallest shikhar along at that time. See, without any crane, without any tools and technology, how such kind of tall domes were built. So here it is given that without the cranes, there were no easy that 90 ton of stone was kept on the top. It means the dome like structure, the which was also told as shikhar. नाउ सो द आर्किटेक्ट्स दे यूज टू बिल्ड द इंक्लाइन पाथ, वो एक ऐसा लंबा रास्ता बनाते थे धीरे 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 करके, जिससे कि ऊपर जो है वो मंदिर के शिखर तक जा सके। देयर दे यूज टू बिल्ड आउट दिस टाइप ऑफ वे, और उस रास्ते पे जाने के बाद जो है वो क्या करते थे कि धीरे धीरे करके पत्थर को जो है लुढ़ा कर उसे वहां पर ले जाते थे और उस टॉप पे सेट करते थे। फर्दर द विलेज विच वॉज नियर बाय इन द इंक्लाइंड पाथ, these village, the peoples of that village, they used to commemorate, they used to memorize the moments that how the construction of building was not easy. Further, whenever once the building, the temple was completed, then they used to dismantle the way, वे इस रास्ते को हटा देते थे, उसे तोड़ देते थे। Further, the village, the nearby village was known as Charupallam. Okay, the village of the incline, it means Charupallam, it means those village area which is in the inclined way, जो कि क्या है, झुका हुआ है, जो एक झुकावदार पथ के करीब है, उसी को हम लोग क्या बोलते थे, चारुपल्लम। Okay, students, read the paragraph and keep watching. Thank you.